ओम वक्रतुंडमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरो
नत्वा श्री भारती तीर्थ विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरो
अधीमहे पंचदशीं कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
अधीमहे पंचदशीं कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
पंचमहाभूत विवेक प्रकरणम श्लोक नंबर 40। तदा स्तिमितगम्भीरं न तेजो न तमस्तथम्।
तदा स्तिमितगम्भीरं न तेजो न तमस्तमम्।
अनाक्यमनभिव्यक्तं सत्किञ्चिदवशिष्यते। ननु भूम्यादिकं आभूत् परमाण्वन्तनाशतः।
ननु भूम्यादिकं परमाण्वन्तनाशतः।
कथं ते वियतो सत्त्वं बुद्धिमारोहतीति चेत्।
कथं ते
कथं
वियतो
ते
सर्वं
वियतो सर्वं
भक्तिमारोहतीः
भक्तिमारोहतीः
चेत्।
After this, we have seen from the shloka number 40 up to the 46, the discussion is on Sat. Sadeva Somyudamagra Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. Every word is taken for analysis. And it is established in keeping with the Shruti Vakyam, Sat Eva, Advitiyam Sat Eva, Asid, Srishtehe Prak, Srishtehe Paschat, Sat Eva, Purvam Paschat. For that, the reference is the Srishti, the Jagat, the existence, the coming of Jagat. Jagat is the Karya. Karya and the Karanam is, from the standpoint of the Jagat, Sat is the Karya. Jagat has come from Sat. So that Jagat is a standpoint. With regard to the Jagat, Purvam Paschat. But Jagat is Mithya. What is Purvam? What is Paschat? All these are in Dvaita Bhasha. Because Jagat is real for us. Therefore, from the standpoint of the Jagat, and it is a transactional, that's a transactional reality. Therefore, our inquisitive mind always questions about the Jagat, how Jagat was created, who is a Karta, how does it sustain, how does it resolve? After resolve, after the resolution, what happens to the Jagat? Jagat comes and goes. Sat doesn't come and go. Sat eva asit. Therefore, sada sat eva asit. Brahma eva asit. Sat Brahma eva sada asit. That doesn't have arisal, or doesn't have departure. That is why Trikale tishtati. Trikala, where is Trikala? From the standpoint of Sat, there is no Kala. Kala itself is Karya. Space is a Karya, Kalam also is a Karya. Kala. That's why Trikale Tishtati. Trikale, the definition only from the standpoint of Jagat, not from the standpoint of Sat. From the Sat standpoint, there is no Kala. The definition doesn't hold good from the standpoint of Sat. All the definitions are only, all the definitions, understanding is only from the standpoint of Sat only. That is why in the previous shloka we saw Advaita Bhashaya Chodyam Nasti Napi Uttaram. That is the question. No question, no answer, and therefore no answer. Because questioner itself is Sat. To whom he asks question, that is Sat. Then Uttaram, that is Sat. Who receives the Uttaram, the answer, he is also Sat. So Sat asking question and Sat answers. The questioner is Sat and the listener is also Sat. Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi. It is, everything is Brahma. Everything is Sat Brahma. Therefore, Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi. Avihi is Brahma. All the Karakas are Brahma. Questioner, when we say Kartar Karaka, the question is Karma Karaka. So everything is Sad Brahma. So everything being Sad Brahma, then where is the question? Where is the answer? There is no questioner. Prashnakarta nasti. Nato acharyaha, nato shishyaha. So shishya acharya, vedaha nasti. That is why Brahmarpanam Brahma hi Brahmanautam Brahma iva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma samadhina iti. All the Karaka Upamardhanam. Karaka not there from the standpoint of Sat. That Upamardhanam, again not from the standpoint of Sat. It is only from the standpoint of the Jagat, the transactional reality. Jagat is mithya. Any amount of mithya, as we saw, the sat can accommodate because it is mithya. It cannot cause any dent in the sat. The sat Brahma is you. That is what the Upanishad says. That the sat is you. Sat Brahma is you. Sat Brahma. Atma Brahma iti. So what is sat? The sat, understanding sat is understanding oneself. So therefore there is no coming of me and no departure of me. That is why Ashocha and Anvashochastum. That is, it is doesn't deserve to be grieved upon. Atma never comes, never goes. It is ever there. Natvevaham jatanasam, nattam neme janadipaha, achevana bhavishyamaha. Sarve vayamatah param. Therefore, it is there all the time. There is no time. Time doesn't exist in Sat. Time doesn't exist in Atma. Therefore, there is no time really. So therefore, tada. But here, since teaching is involved and the student is committed to knowing, therefore, these are the words which the Shastra uses in conveying the truth, conveying the teaching, conveying the knowledge. Once the knowledge happens, once the person becomes a jnani, he becomes speechless. What can he speak? He becomes completely speechless. Understanding that everything is Brahma, Akamatma Brahma, becomes speechless. That is why we say Ascharyavat Pashyati Kaschidenam, Ascharyavat Vadati Tataiva Chanyaha. Ascharyavat Ascharyavat Chainam Anyashrunoti. Shrutva api Vedana Chaiva Kaschito. Ascharyo Vakta Ascharyaha Shrota. Vakta is Ascharyaha. Because the Vishaya, the subject matter is like that. Shrota api Ascharyaha. So therefore, to talk about Sat, to employ words to express Sat is the most difficult job, and the Shuddhi does it so easily by using the words. And the language also, Sanskritam also can express this so vividly, so clearly. So when the teacher says, the teacher gives Upadesha and interprets the meaning of the Vakya of the Shruti, the knowledge has to take place. Because the teacher communicates the language the student knows. Language means not the language which is used for Vyavahara, that is the idea, the orientation, what the student has in keeping with this, in his own understanding. The teacher talks. That is how the Shruti talks. The teacher talks means the Shruti talks. So therefore, the understanding cannot be missed. So therefore, here, the words we see, Agre Asit, Purvam Asit, Yada, Tada, all these are Dvaita Bhasha. So Tada, we saw this in the last class. Tada, Stimita Gambiram. Stimita is a nice word. Stimita means it is Achanchala, Nischalam Ityartaha. Stimitam, that doesn't have chalan, achalanatmakam stimitam, that doesn't have movement, where it can move, when everything is Brahma. Sat eva asit. Tada here in the context, because Sadeva Somya, idam agre word is there, therefore Sada. Kada Srishtehe Purvam, Srishtehe Prak, that's why Tada. But really there is no Tada, Yada and from the standpoint of Sat. And it is Timita. It is a Chalanatmaka. There is no Chalanam because that alone is where it can move. And it is Gambiram. It is Gambiram. It is Dur Vigneyam. Durabhakakam. It is difficult to comprehend. So, Tada Satteke Prak Sateva Asti. Sadeva Asit. And it is Stimitam. It is Gambiram. It is not available for knowing because the knower is not there. Knower, the known, the knowledge, not there. That is why it is Aprameyam. Aprameyam. Gambiram. It is not an object of knowledge. It is not Buddhi Vishaya, it is. It cannot be objectified for one's understanding. Therefore, it is Timita Gambiram. Na Tejaha, na Tamaha. Neither Tejaha, light, nor it is Tamas. So Tamas means Tamasaha Vilakshanam. Tejaha, na tu Tejaha api. So light and darkness also only in Vyavahara. In fact, the light and darkness are lightened by Sat. The light and darkness, what we call light and darkness, that also is illumined by Sat. Therefore, we say this Brahma, it is Swaprakasha, means because we have the knowledge of Prakasha. In the transactional world, we have Prakasha, light. Light illumines darkness. So we have knowledge of Prakasha, therefore we say Swaprakasha. That again, Swaprakasha is the word only from the standpoint of Jagat. But what about Sat? Is it Swaprakasha? Swaprakasha, when we say Prakasha, then does it have object to illuminate? No. So therefore, na tejaha, na tamaha. Tamasaha vilaksha. It is not tamas, it is not darkness. Is it tejaha? Na tu tejaha api. Teja means light here. And it is anakyam, nameless. Naming also from the standpoint of Jagat Dvaita Bhasha, anakyam, navarahita. It is anakyam, free from names. Words cannot be used, but still we use word because to understand that not as an object. So we use the words. Anakyam, anabhivyaktam. Anabhivyaktam. Anabhivyaktam means it is not available for abhivyakta, not available for objectification. It cannot be known. It cannot be known as an object because it is you. It doesn't have jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. Only when it is there, then there can be only shabda pravritti. Otherwise, how it is possible to know? Therefore, it is not possible. Anabhivyaktam, indriya, pramana, agocharam, sat, kinchit avashishyate. Sat, kinchit avashishyate. That sat alone was there. That is what Shruti said. Sadeva asit. Then the Purvapakshi, we saw this also. Purvapakshi questioned. Nanu, Purvapakshi here is Nayayika, logician. So he raises an objection, is Akshepa. He said, Sat is Indriyahi Vishikaratam Ayogyam. It is, that means it is Vyakyatam Ashakyam Sarvatra Vyaptam Vyakyatam Ashakyam Sat. That Sadvastu Pralaya Kale. Srishtehe Purvam Pralaya Kale. Even while the Srishti, Sateva Kevalam Sateva Asti iti. Now Purvapakshi Ayayika, he raises an objection. He says, Nanu boom. Here for Nayayika, they have this the theory that the evolution process, there are certain evolution philosophy, for them that all the all the elements, only 4 elements. Akasha is, they consider Akasha to be Nitya. Akasha is Nitya. The other than Akasha, the 4 elements, what we perceive in the world, in the Vyavaharika Prapancha, they all reduce to the Paramanu. Parama Anu. Paramanu is atom, atomic. So therefore, Akasha is Nitya. Other than Akasha, Anyani, Bhumyadikam, Prithvyadi, Bhutani, they are Anityani because it is that Siddhanta. Because these 4 bhutas, Srishtehe Prak na bhavanti. The Prithvi, etc., these have come from the Paramanu. They are formed from the Paramanu Kramena. Kramena Utpannani, the Prithvyadi. Prithvi, etc., has come from the Paramanu. So, Paramanu is Paramanu, Vayu, Paramanu, Agni, Paramanu, Apaha, Paramanu, Prithvi. All these are Parama Anu. That is the final substance. So at the time of dissolution, what will happen? This Jagat goes back to its Paramanu stage. The elements, the Jagat consists of elements, and elements go back to the Paramanu stage. What about Akasha? Akasha doesn't go. That is what he said. Paramanu, Paramanvantanashataha. Paramanu Vantanashataha, Paramanoho Antaha. Paramanvantaha. Paramanvantaha Paryantam Nashaha. Nashaha, destruction. Pralaya Kale, up to Paramanu. Paramanvantaha Nashaha. Paramanvantanashaha Madhyamapada Lopasamasa. Paramanoho Antaha is up to the Paramanu, that is Shashti Tatpurusha. Paramanoho Antaha Paramanvantaha. Paramanvantaha Paryantam Nashaha Madhyamapada Lopasamasa. Therefore, up to the Paramanu. They go back to the Paramanu. So up to the Paramanu are Anitya. Anityani. This Prithvyadini Anityani. What about Akasha? Akasha is Nityaha. That is Bhumyadikam. Bhumi Adikam. Bhumi, etc. Bhumihi Adihi Yasya. Tat Bhumyadikam. Bhumyadikam Paramanvanta Nashataha. Bhumyadikam. Bhumi Adikam up to Paramanu, they go to destruction. But what about Akasha? Akasha will be there. Akasha is Nitya. Akasha doesn't undergo any destruction. Akasha, it doesn't undergo any destruction. It is there. It is Nityaha. So therefore, this Bhuta Chatushtayam only. Bhut means Srishtehe Prak na Bhavati. It means Srishtehe Paschat Bhavati. It means they come, they arise. They arise from Akasha is ever there, and Sat also it is there. They arise from Akasha and Sat. Akasha, Sat, Akasha and Sat both are there. From that, this arises. This Prithvyadini Anityani, therefore they arise. Srishtehe Prak Masyat, Mabhut. Srishtehe Anantaram Tesham Utpannaha Bhavati. Therefore, Prithvyadini Utpannani, therefore Anityani. But Akasha is not included. Bhumyadika means it's not, because we are talking about Nayayikas. That is why in the second line he said, Katam te Vyataha specifically he says, it means Vyat is not included in the Bhumyadika. Bhumyadi Yasya, when we say the collection of, there are only 4 elements. 5th element is not included, that is Akasha. Or else Akasha is the 5th element. In fact, that is the first element. which is formed. Tasmadetasmad akashaka sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agnirapaha prithvi iti. Taittiriya Upanishad says from the Brahma, Akasha is the first element which is formed. Akasham Brahma. But that is not there for the Yaika. Akasha is Nityam, Nitya Akashaha. Therefore he asked the question. It is Nityam. Therefore, Akasha, which is there, Srishtehe Prag remains. Katam te is asking the question. How can you Katam Buddhim Arohati? How can you have this understanding that Srishtehe Prag, only Sat is there without Akasha? How can there be Sat without Akasha? In the if Akasha is not there, then how can there be Sat? Where does the creation takes place? Creation takes place means it must have space. In space only things are produced. So if space is not there, if space is not there, how creation could have come? Therefore, here the Nayayika, he questions that the absence of space, Srishtehe Prag, before the Srishti. Srishtehe Prag Prativyadini Nasanti. Fine. Akasha Heva Asi. Yes. Katam Buddhi Marogati. Katam Buddhi Vishaya Bhavati. Bhavataha Buddhi Vishaya Bhavati. Iti is asking Akashasya Asatvam Abhavaha. Because if Akasha is not there, how can Srishti, how can accommodation, how can the Jagat be created, the elements can be created. Therefore, space is there. Katam Buddhi Marugati, how can you conceive of space without space? Sat without space. Therefore, Ekameva Advitiyam Katam Sambhavati. That is what is the question. Ekameva Advitiyam Katam Ekam Advitiyam Sambhavati. Iti Nayayika. Nayayika is one of the darshanam by one of the darshanam, and it is the propounder of the darshanam is Kanada Maharshi. As we have Grantha, we have the Asthanatrayam, etc. Every darshana has got the Grantha. Even Vyakarana has Grantha, Vyakarana, Siddhanta Kaumbadi. Similarly, all the darshana, Nayayika, we have Tattva Bodha to start with. Similarly, Nayayika also have the Grantha Tarka Sangraha. Tarka Sangraha, it's a book of logician. They talk very logical language they use to present the Tatparyam, to present the Srishti Prakram, everything talked about. Purva Mimamsa, they have Artha Sangraha. So therefore, like Tattvabodha, they have Artha Tarka Sangraha. In the Tarka day, there is a lot of definitions, arguments, highly technical, very difficult to understand unless it is taught. So therefore, there is the elements are the formation of elements, etc. are talked about. All the elements, the Prithiviyadini, they are in the Paramana stage, and Akasha is not included. Therefore, it means if Akasha is there, it is there, even Srishtehe Prag. We don't accept that because according to Shruti, Akasha is also created. If Akasha also it is a Sat also is there, then Sat cannot be Advitiyam Sat. Because Akasha is there. And now we are going to answer him. Now, first we will give a defensive reply. After that, we will give an offensive. First, directly, first instance will not be offensive, will not take offensive approach. First, we will point out their mistake. Then we will discuss. So therefore, the next shloka, which we have to see today, Dhyarya Muni, he answers the question indirectly. He never answers Dhyarya Muni, if you see, is all his arguments. First, he never answers the question directly. He will ask a counter question. He will make the Nayayika think, if at all if he thinks, make him understand his problem, make him understand the fallacy in his argument. So that is what the Vidyaranya Muni does here. The next shloka 42. Let us read. Adyantam nirjagad vyoma yatha te buddhimashritam.
अत्यन्तं
अत्यन्तं
निर्जगद्व्योम यथा
निर्जगद्व्योम
ते
यथा ते
बुद्धिमाश्रितम्
बुद्धिमाश्रितम्
तथैव सन्निराकाशं कुतो नाश्रयते मतिम्.
तथैव
तथैव
सन्निराकाशं कुतो
सन्निराकाशं कुतो
नाश्रयते मतिम्.
Vidyaranya Muni questions the Purvapakshi Nayayika. You say that Akasha is Nitya. Who says Nayayika? Nayayika, like the doubt of Nayayika, the argument of Nayayika is Srishtege Prak Akashaha Asti. Nayayikanam Akshepaha Akashasya Abhavaha Bhaktam Na Shakyate iti. Now that's a Samadhanam. Samadhanam is Akashah Nityah iti yat Bhavan Vadati. What you say that Akasha is Nitya? Tell me, where is the Pramana? Where is the Pramana? Where is the Shastra Pramana? Srishtehe Anantaram. Srishtehe Anantaram, this Bhuta Bhautika Atmaka Prapancha, Jagat Asti. That is Anubhava Siddham. And Akash is also one of the Bhuta. For that, we have Shastra Pramana. But what about you? You tell me, Akasha is Nityam, you say. It is not created. It is ever there. Even before the Srishti. Where is the Pramanam? We say Akasha is also Srishta. We have Pramanam. Yatasvad Akasha Sambhutaha. Sambhutaha means it is created. Comes to existence. It comes to existence means before it was not there. Therefore it is created. It is Srishtam. That is the first element, it is created. We have Shastra Pramanam. What about you? For us, Shastra is a Pramanam. But you have no Shastra Pramanam. So therefore you are confused. We say you are confused. So therefore, Srishtehe Prak, Idam Jagat. That point he accepts. Srishtehe Prak, Idam Jagat na asit. Na asit iti Nayayikaha svikurvanti. They accept before this, Srishtehe Prak, this Jagat na asit. This Jagat is not there, that they accept. But the Sat is that they say. That is what the problem is. So, Srishtehe Purvam, Akashasya Sattvam. Srishtehe Purvam Jagat Nasti, Jagat, Idam Jagat na Asit, the Jagat which is available for our perception, not there. Kintu Akashaha Asti. They ask us this question, Akashasya Abhavam Swikatam Kaha Kleshaha Asti. For that we say, no, Akasha, is it Nityaha? Shastra doesn't say so. Akasha is a karya, it is a product. Shastra Pramanam, it is a karyam, it is a product. Unless it is a karyam, what will happen? If it is not a karyam, then it will have the status of Satyam. If it is not a Karyam, then it cannot be Mithya. Then we cannot negate space. The space becomes unnegatable. So Atma is also then Atma Brahma, then it is also located in space. Then space, then Brahma Atma will become an object. And there are nothing before the Srishti, we say. Then how can space is there in this within the space is Atma is included? That is it is ridiculous to even to think of. So therefore, in order to dismiss Akasha as Mithya, therefore it is presented as Karyam. Space also is Karyam. Because we have Shruti Pramana, Shruti says, Shruti Pramana. See, when you accept Shruti, you have to accept Shruti completely. Shruti has to be accepted totally. We cannot have this Ardhajari Nyaya. I will accept half of the Shruti. Whatever is convenient for me, I will accept. That which is not convenient for me, I will not accept. We cannot say. It's called Ardhajari Ardhajari Nyaya. That is half of the woman from the face up to the hip. The woman is young. From the hip to the down, she is old. There is no such thing. If a woman or a man, whoever it is, if it's old means he is completely old. From the top to bottom is old. He has grown up. Not that his head alone will grow old and the rest of the shariram will remain new, or the head alone will remain new, the rest of the shariram will grow old. You have to accept completely the Shastra. So that either you accept the Shastram completely, Shruti Pravanam, or reject it. If you reject it, you come under Nastika Darshan. Then we have to talk with you in a different language. So, but for us, space is a material. It is also material, subtle material. Therefore, for us, the Brahma without space is possible. So you have to understand the thinking of Nayaka, then only you will appreciate the argument. This space is such an important thing, without which, they cannot conceive of Brahma without space. But he say, therefore only they argue that how can you think of Sat without space? But we say spaceless Brahma is possible because space is a Karya. Space as a Karya is something to be understood. When space is there, then only there is time, space and time. So within the space, only objects are accommodated. It is not just objects are created. Objects are created means there must be space. There must be space. In the space, only objects can be created. Therefore, the space also must be a created one. Space cannot exist eternally. There is no, it is not nitya. There is no eternal space. It is an element that this understanding is not there for Nayayika. Even a thinker, any thinking person, for him also, for him difficult to conceive of the space as an element, as a karya, it's a product. That's why space also remains always a mystery. Space means what? What space? We live in space. We are accommodated in space. We miss a space. We appreciate other elements, but we miss the space. And Nayayika is so convinced that he says the Sat cannot be even thought of without space. That is why we say, no, it is possible. Shastra Pramanam is there. So therefore, spaceless Brahma is possible. And therefore, here, there are many questions, counter questions. You say space alone is there before creation. When space is there before creation, when objects are not there. Now, that Vyoma is space, which is Nirjagat. Nirjagat Vyoma. Nirjagat Nirjagat means Jagataha, Abhavaha, Nirjagat. Nirjagat is an Avyabhava Samasa. It is Anadanta Avyabhava, Anadanta Avyam. Can say that is why Nirjagat. Adanta Avyabhava means then Am will come, we saw the Samasa class. Abhavaha. Abhava is also one of the meaning in which the compound is from Avyam Vibhakti Samipa Samriddhi Ridhyata Bhava Abhava Abhava Abhava. So in the sense of absence of Jagat, Nirjagat. Like Nirvignam we say. Nirvignam is Vignanam Abhavaha. Nirvignam. Nirvignam Kuru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Similarly here. Nirjagat. Jagataha Abhavaha Avibhavaha. Nirjagat Vyoma. The Jagat. Nirjagat Vyoma. Nirjagat is an adjective to Vyoma. That is Vyoma, the Akasha. Akasha is there, but Jagat is not there. Jagat is not there. Kada Sashtehe Purvam. That Vyoma, which is Nirjagat Vyoma, Atyantam. Atyantam, it means totally. So that Vyoma, which is Nirjagat Atyantam, tell me, how do you conceive of? Katam Buddhim Te is Tava. Te Tava Buddhim Ashritam. Buddhim Aropitam. How can you even conceive of Buddhim Te? Yathate, as you conceive of, not how can you, you will ask this. Yathate, Yathatata. Yathate Buddhim Ashritam. Yatha Buddhim Ashritam. Buddhim Ashritam is Buddhi Vishayaha. As you think of, conceive of, Buddhim Ashritam. Buddhim Arohati. Te Tava. Atyantam Nirjagat Vyoma. Atyantam Nirjagat Vyoma. The Vyoma, the Akasha. The Akasha. Nirjagat. Nirjagat. Absence of Jagat. Atyantam, completely. Jagat not there. Vyoma alone is there. Akasha alone is there. Akasha. Jagat is the object. Jagat meaning here, Jagat is the Srishti. Srishti means object. Therefore, objectless space. Nirjagat Vyoma, Akasha without the Jagat. When we say Akasha, Akasha means the objects are understood in the Akasha. See, Akasha can be called Akasha only when it can accommodate objects. Srishtege Prag, where are the objects? It means where is a Jagat? Before the Srishti, there is no object. It means there is no Jagat. If Jagat is there, then only the Jagat can be accommodated in the space. Then only it is called space. Now Jagat is not there. Then how can you call that as a space, right? Therefore, objectless space. So, Yathate, as you conceive of, think of, in your understanding, as you think of, objectless space before the Srishti. Tata, similarly, we can also conceive of Nirakasham, Nirakasham Sat. We can also think of Nirakasham. Nirakasham, again, it is Avibhava Samasa. Akashasya Abhavaha Nirakasham Sat. Tata eva Sannirakasham. San means Sat. Sat plus Nirakasham, Sannirakasham, Sandhi. Nirakasham Sat. Nirakasham Sat. Avagantam Shakyate. When you can think of Nirjagat Vyoma, objectless space, why not we can appreciate of Nirakasham Satu. Nirakasham Satu. Nirakasham Satu means Sat alone is there is no Akash. Spaceless Sat. Only Sat is, there is no space, there is no Vyoma. We can conceive of Nirakasham Satu. katam matim na ashriyate, katam na ashriyate matim, kutaha means why not, kutaha kutaha, why not we can conceive of matim buddhim ashrayate, why can't we think of, why can't we conceive of conceive of spaceless sat, nirakasham sat, when you can conceive of nirjagat vyoma, why can't we? So it's a counter question, it's a defensive reply. You say it is impossible to conceive of the the sat without vyoma, nirjagat vyoma we can do. You can think, you can consume nirjagat vyoma, then we can consume nirakasham sat. That's no problem. When nirjagat vyoma is possible for you, why not nirakasham sat for us? And also we have shruti pramana. Therefore it is possible. Kutaha na ashrayate matim. So therefore this is the reply, defensive reply. Therefore now the Nayayika also, the opponent will start thinking. We are not giving him the direct answer. Direct answer we will give. See, the opponent also has to be convinced. One is, first we have to prove that you are wrong. As you argue that we are wrong, we said that you are wrong. So the fallacy is in his understanding has to be presented. Then we have to give reason for it, not stop with that. That we are going to give. So they said in the next the shloka. So here the Tikakara says, Drishtanta Ashtambena Parihati. Atyantam iti. Atyantam nirjagat matra ragitam ityartaha. Drishtanta Ashtamena means taking the support of avalambanam. Ashtambena avalambanam, support of Drishtanta. Atyantam, the author says here, Atyantam nirjagat, Jaganmatra ragitam ityartaha. Atyantam nirjagat means, that word he explains, Jagat matra ragitam, without Jagat, without object. So Jagat means, Jagat is an object. That is why it can be, it is idam iti shabdena. Idam iti shabdena vidiyate Jagat. So idam Jagat. Idam means this means what we point out as idam. That is Jagat. It is an object. Jagat is an object. So nirjagat. Nirjagat means objectless. Vyoma space. So objectless space. Space, when we say object must be there, then only it is space. Space is that which accommodates objects. So Jagat is included in the space. Jagat is the object for space. Therefore, Nirjagat is Jagat Matra Sagitam Ityartaha. The Tikakara doesn't explain much because the shloka itself is self-explicable. Therefore, it is spashtam. Therefore, the Tikakara doesn't explain much. So this is asking counter question. Kutaha na ashrayate batim. He asks kutaha katam buddhim asat katam te buddhim arohati. Now, before that, we ask kutaha na ashrayate batim. Why don't you understand this? How do you miss this fact? How can you conceive of nirjagat vyoma? It's counter question. Now, we give a reply now. Shloka number 43. Nirjagat vyoma drishtam chet prakashatamasi vina.
Nirjagadvyomadrishtam
Nirjagadvyomadrishtam
prakashatamasi
prakashatamasi
vina.
vina.
Kvadrishtam kim chate pakshe na pratyaksham viyat khalu.
Kvadrishtam kinchate pakshena pratyaksham viyat khalo.
खलु.
So, Nirjagat Vyoma Drishtam Chet. Nirjagat Vyoma, the Vyoma, the Akasha, without the Jagat, Nirjagat, objectless. Drishtam, if you say. Who says? We say that you say. That is Nayayika say. It means Nayayika says that is Prithvyadikam Jagat Vina Akashaha Asti iti. Iti Drishtam Nayayika says. That is without the Prithvyadikam Jagat Vina. Jagat is Prithvyadikam. Bhumyadikam Jagat. What we saw before. Akasham Vartate. So Akasha is there. Iti Drishtam. It is seen. Therefore, Drishte Vishaye Kapi Anupapattihi na bhavati. In the Drishta Vishaya, what is the untenability? Prativyadikam Jagat, without them, Sat is there. Sat can exist. Therefore, in such a Drishta Vishaya, what is the untenability? Iti Nayayika. For them, for that, we say, Nirjagat Vyoma Drishtam Chet. If Nirjagat Vyoma, objectless space, Drishtam Chet, if it is seen, perceived, if you say, Nirjagat Vyomam Drishtam, objectless space is perceived. How can you perceive? You see the sky. Do you perceive object? Where space? How can you perceive object? How can you perceive the space? See that it says Nirjagat Vyoma Drishtam. It is Drishtam. That is according to Nayayika that space is conceivable. Now we ask them, Nirjagat Vyom Drishtam Chet, Nirjagat Vyom Drishtam iti Bhavan Vadati, Vadatu, Katam. Tell me, how do you conceive the space? Can I see? No, I can see only form and color. For Rupa and for Varna. For knowing Rupa and Varna, eyes can be used. So for you cannot see. With eyes you cannot see. How can you see? So space doesn't have form. Space doesn't have color. Okay, you may say blue space. The blue again. The blue is what? The blue is not space. It's a reflection. Space is not blue. If space is blue color, then it should be blue all over, but it is not blue. It is not always blue also. It is sometimes it is blue. That is the reflection of, that is because of the reflection of the rays. It appears blue, but space is not blue. If space is blue means then there must be above that space something, because space is like a sphere. It's the top of the roof and appears blue. There must be something above space. Space is not blue. Therefore, space doesn't have form, doesn't have color. That you also agree, because it is space has form and color with only with regard to upadhi. Like gata upadhi, if you take gata, pot. Pot is created. So when pot is made, there is a space inside the pot. Therefore you can fill water. Pot space. We call that space as pot space because the space is conditioned by the walls of the pot. That is upadhi. Therefore it is with regard to upadhi. The space is there. Similarly the sky, blue sky, because of the upadhi. But what about space? Space is neither in space as color or a form. So therefore, space is not available for drishta, unavailable for perception. Now, if it is not available for perception, prakasha tamasi vina kva drishtam. Prakasha tamasi vina kva drishtam kutra drishtam. Prakasha tamasi is prakasha, prabha. Tamasi is darkness, andhakara. Prakasha tamasi. Prakasha tamasi is prakashascha tamasascha. Prakasha tamasi. Itareta dvanda samas. Prakasha tamasi. So prakasha, light, tamas, darkness. Now Vyas is now, if space is drishtam, is space pervaded by light or darkness? Is this nirjagat yoma drishtam chet? Now tell me, prakashatamasi vina kva drishtam? How can the pure space can be perceived? Prakashatamasi vina. Prakashatamasi vina nirjagat yomam kva drishtam? Kutah drishtam? Katam drishtam? So prakasha is light. सृष्टेः पूर्वम् आकाशस्य दर्शनार्थं प्रकाशः अस्ति वा? Was prakasha is there before सृष्टि? Prakasha means any source of prakasha. Sun not there. Even सृष्टेः pra. Sun also created, right? So prakasha nasti. When prakasha is not there, how can you think of tamas, darkness? So we can say darkness with regard to light. When prakasha, light itself is not there, then how can we say darkness? So tafat tamaha also na bhavati. So prakashasya, see, you need light for knowing an object. In the absence of light, that is darkness, you cannot know. Sashtehe prak was light was there. Akasha is which is there, you say, that's to see that akasha, drishtam, darshanartham, prakasha vartate va, na, nasti. If prakasha is there, then what is the source of the prakasha, we will ask. So prakasha not there, light not there. When light not there, then tamas also not there. Only when light is there, tamas is there. Only when tamas is there, light is there. This is dvandva. This is only in the jagat, in the object, in the world of objects. We are talking about srishtehe prak. Therefore, tamaha api na bhavati, akashaha api na bhavati, prakasham api na bhavati, tamaha api na bhavati. Therefore, prakasha tamasi vina kva drishtam. Kva means kutaha, kutra, katam. Therefore, na drishtam, akshepat, na drishtam. Te pakshe न प्रत्यक्षम वियत न प्रत्यक्षम खलु ते पक्षे तव पक्षे according to you the viyat akasha, it is not pratyaksham. You yourself say akasha is an indriya gochara. Bhavatah mate akashaha naiva indriya gocharaha. It is not available for indriya gochara. Therefore, how can you say drishtam? How can you say it is perceivable? Can be seen. So therefore, if akasha is also pratyaksha, if you say, then tava siddhantasya hani prasangaha bhavati. If akasha also drishtam you say, then your siddhanta stands negated, because according to you itself, akasha is not pratyaksham. Akasha is not available, as not pratyaksha, not indriya gochara. You say, not we say. Therefore, if akasha is not pratyaksham, then nirjagat vyoma katam prakashatamasi vina kva. How can you conceive of the objectless nirjagat space? Therefore, because pure space, it's not indriya gochara, not available for indriya, na pratyaksham. So therefore, there must be object. There must be object. Means it is srishti. Srishtehe paschateva. Natu srishtehe purvam. Therefore, you cannot argue. So what we say in keeping with the shastram is, this akasha also created. It is an element. And therefore, Sat alone was there before the Srishti. So you cannot say Akasha is there. Akasha is not there. We say in his own language. We tell the Nayayika in his own language. Because he says Nirjagat Vyomam, Nirjagat Vyoma is there. It is there means it is Nirjagat Vyomam Drishtam Chet. Drishtam, when we say it is there, it is seen. How do you see? Prakasha Tamasi Vina. And also that Vyoma is not Pratyaksha Vishaya, not Indriya Gochara. That you yourself say. Now, if you say Drishtam, it is contradicting your Siddhanta. According to you, that Akasha is not Pratyaksham, but you say Drishtam. So it's very contradicting your own Siddhanta. Therefore, Sat Eva Asti, Sadeva Somya, Idamagre Asi. Therefore, Shruti statement stands unnegated. So you cannot misinterpret or you cannot dismiss the Shruti. So therefore, from the standpoint of the Shruti also, you cannot stand. That is, your argument doesn't stand. And from the logical standpoint, because we are Nayayika, so we give our logical argument. From the logical argument also, you cannot stand. So in both ways, you stand negated. So therefore, Sat Eva Asit iti. Tikakara says, Nagi Drishte Anupapannam iti. See, when something is perceivable, seen, that's Anupapannam, untenability. Na Anupapannam is negating Anupapannam. Na Anupapannam double negative. It is Upapannam. When you see a thing, you cannot negate it. I see a rose. The rose is an object. It is an object. I see the object, the rose. I use the eye, the Chakshurindriya, to perceive the object. Eyes is the Indriya, the means of knowing the object, the rose. I use, therefore, I see it. So, drishte, in seeing, in perceiving, there is no untenability. Na anupapannamasti. Prativyadini. What Prativyadini? Nyayam ashritya chodayati. We ask, in keeping with the Nyaya, the logic. What about the space? Space, can you see? Can you perceive? You can walk in space, in the space. Space can accommodate you, but you cannot hold the space. You cannot catch the space. It is not available for. You are in the space. Why space? Even Vayu itself you take. Vayu is also not available for perception. It is only available for, it's not available for seeing. It's available only for the Sparshendriya, Sparsha. When Vayu touches, you know. The tree moves, you know Vayu is. There are Amurta Bhuta. Satyacha Bhavat. That Akasha and Vayu, they are Amurta. In the gross world, we take that which are gross, that is, which are of a form, which have a shape, color, that is, which is available for our eye, the Chakshurindriya. So then only we say we accept things. Logicians also the same thing. Only when it is available for your seeing, then it is accepted. But what about Akasha? So Akasha Drishtam, you say. How can it be Drishtam? Because you yourself say Pratyaksha. It is not Pratyaksha. So therefore, Drishte, in seeing and perceiving an object, Prithiviyadini na anupapannamasti. There is no untenability. That is Prithiviyadikam Jagat. This Jagat, the Jagat, you can see, you can perceive. You can perceive Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, etc. available for your gross perception, sense perception. Even Vayu also, you can say Sparshendriya. Akasha, in fact, after attributing all the four guna, that is sparsha, shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha. Among this, the shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha, rupa rasa gandha, after attributing this four guna, after that what is left out is akasha. To that we attribute the shabda guna. Not first we attribute shabda guna to akasha. Parishesha nyaya. So 5 elements are there and 5 objects are there. So now we have to attach each element as a property to the 5 elements. First we give sparsha rupa rasa gandha to the elements. Then what is left out is akasha. Therefore this akasha must be, the shabda must be the property of akasha. Shabda. Shabda is subtle compared to the perception of the compared to sight perception of objects, which has got rupa and varna, shape is there. Therefore, and therefore, even Yayika also he accepts that akasha na to pratyakshate. Here, pratyaksha means it is not chakshuradi vishaya, not available for chakshuradi indriya vishaya. It is not available for eyes perception, not available for even sparsha, not available for smell, not available for rasa, akasha not available. So therefore, na drishtam, kwadrishtam iti. Nirjagat iti. Darshanam eva asiddham. You cannot see. Darshanam, seeing. This the seeing, that perception, the sight perception starts from Agni only. Agni, then apaha, then prithvi. So sight perception, then taste, then smell. So darshanam eva asiddham iti. Akasha is not available of darshanam. Drishte means darshanam, seeing, physical seeing. Because doesn't have varna, doesn't have rupa. Pariharati. Therefore, it dismisses. Prakasha iti. Prakasha, the light is required for the perception of objects. Then only eyes can perceive. But what about Akasha? Akasha, if Akasha also is illumined, I mean, it is also lighted up by some other source of light, physical source of light. Then Akasha, before Akasha, that Prakasha, the Vastu was there. So therefore, Prakasha nasti. Prakasha not there, then Tamas also not there. Therefore, apasiddhantaha api iti aha. Therefore, apasiddhantaha is, if you say that it is seen, then it is against your siddhanta. Apasiddhanta. Siddhanta. Tava siddhanta hanihi. Because according to you, akasha is akashaha na pratyakshaha. That yourself say. Therefore, idi akashaha pratyakshaha iti angikaroti chet, तव सिद्धान्तस्य हानिः अपसिद्धान्तः भवति. भवतः सिद्धान्तः अपसिद्धान्तः भवति. Your siddhanta stands dismissed. If you say drishtam, akasha is drishtam. Therefore, chinchayati. Then the next shloka, I think we'll read. We'll read in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः गुरुजी.
धन्यवादः.
गुरुजी.
धन्यवादः जी.
धन्यवादः गुरुजी.